Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, a main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. So, what do we have up on screen? Well, something from the website Card Realm, and I guess you can consider them like geek media, trading card games mostly, but obviously cover a bit more than that. TSR, the original publishers of Dungeons and Dragons, is back in court against Wizards of the Coast. The last version of the lawsuit was filed in 12/29/2021, which made me think that since it was in, not on, that maybe somebody at TSR has something to do with putting this together, but probably not. This is just pure stupidity. And why is it stupidity? Because yes, we do know that new TSR, TSR3, actually, ENWorld calls them TSR 3.5 because it's the version after the breakup with Wonderfilled. I don't know about that. But in any case, um, yes, this newest TSR did claim that, how unfair it is that we can't attend Gen Con, that we're being banned when we founded Gen Con. But I know that a lot of people get very confused and they're like, yeah, but they say TSR and it says TSR on the tin, therefore they are the original publishers of Dungeons and Dragons. And it's not quite how it works. So I'm going to uh, make you look at something else here. Tennessee Titans. Now, the Tennessee Titans used to be the Oilers, right? Tennessee Oilers, the Houston Oilers. And then they became the Tennessee Titans. Now, and I think that sounds pretty cool, right? Tennessee Titans sounds great, but if you're a football fan, especially if you're a New York football fan, if you are a suffering New York Jets fan, you'd know that the Titans has a history already. And what history is that? Well, the history of that is that before the Jets were known as the New York Jets, they were known as the Titans. Yes. So when they were founded in 1960, they were the New York Titans. And I believe they played their first 3 years from 60 to 62 as the Titans before changing the name to 63. Now, when Tennessee and the Oilers changed their name to the Titans, did that give them the record of the original Titans, the New York Titans? Did their history from 1960 to 1962, which, by the way, is not necessarily a great record, it wasn't horrible. They were 7-7 their first two seasons and 5-9 on their last season. But Tennessee Titans, who existed since 1960 themselves as the Houston Oilers, did they suddenly gain like dual heritage? It's like, well, not only were we the Houston Oilers, but we were also the New York Titans. No, of course not, right? So when TSR was acquired, bought out, it would have been bought out in, I guess, bankruptcy court otherwise, but when they were acquired by Wizards of the Coast, that became, it's like the Titans becoming the Jets, right? So now nobody's been TSR for a number of years, except for the ones that were TSR for a number of years. But does that mean that if you take those letters, TSR, the name TSR, do you suddenly become the inheritors of that old record, right? No, you don't. Football doesn't work that way, right? Real life, it doesn't work that way. So I really hate it when people or web pages or companies that consider themselves to be media can't separate this fucking shit out. It's like, come on. Now, has new TSR again done what they could to muddy these waters? Certainly. Um, but this is not TSR saying this. This is a third party who has no fucking clue whatsoever. And I really hate that because, let's be honest, our hobby is full of a number of lemmings. Listen, the, The great sales of Giant Lands before the divorce was because there were a bunch of lemmings that thought they were sticking it to the man by backing Giant Lands. In reality, could be nothing further from the truth. And oh my God, Giant Lands is not what people thought it was going to be on the tin. Now, was it? I'm almost tempted to get a copy just to point that stuff out, but I don't. Ah, I'll leave it up to the community. Let me know in the comments below this if I should be investing my money in Giant Lands. And it wouldn't just be for the lark; it would be for investigative purposes, right? That's what we do here. So, in any case, this is bullshit. But part of it is TSR's marketing strategy, right? What's TSR's marketing strategy? Get in the news, get in anything, because getting mentioned gets clicks. So, if you go to ENWorld, I've mentioned ENWorld before, and I must say they are much better than they had been. They have a top 30 list, top 30 Dungeons and Dragons stories for 2020. And that's serious number of 2020. Interesting that it's about things that the lore is not canon and race culture discussions that came up. Okay. So, in non D&D news, the ongoing story of TSR 3.5 dominated the year, taking the top 8 most popular spots in the list. Yes, the One Ring and Marvel Multiverse, whatever. Top 8 spots went to TSR. So, here I am. I'm also talking about it, right? And this isn't even a TSR stupid one, because TSR did nothing stupid for this one. I mean, maybe making the list was a bunch of stupid shit that got them there, but it got them seen. It got them clicks. It's given them vision, right? Reach. But no, they're not the TSR of old. I don't care if, it might be heretical to say this, I don't care if they start digging dead bodies up out of graveyards and propping up chairs at the Dungeon Hobby Shop and putting signs around and saying, this is, and now you can game with. No. Still not TSR of old. It doesn't work that way. But if you're watching this, you know that, right? I'm not talking to people that don't understand. I'm talking to people that do understand, right? You understand that this is not how it works. It's not even inheriting, it's snagging, finding abandoned on the side of the street. A placard that says TSR and taking it home does not suddenly make you TSR of old. It makes you TSR of new. And that should be fine. Make your own legacy. Now, I will want to make a quick shout out, I guess, to Wizard Tower Games. Thank you for the conversation in the prior video. Do I have gaps in my knowledge in what you're going to be putting out and when's coming out? Certainly. And although I am on Facebook, I don't spend my days searching Facebook, and that's going to be another issue. And maybe I'll even mention that part now. I understand that companies feel that, well, Facebook is where it's at. And you have to have a Facebook presence. You certainly do. But if you have a web presence, all right, a lot of people are not wired into Facebook. A lot of people see Facebook as a cult of evilness. I see it as a place of necessary evil. But since there's a large number of people that do not do Facebook, and this is not, slamming anybody in particular, but when I was told, well, we talk about when our the upcoming stuff is being released on Facebook. Yet you have, hello, darling, come on up. You have a Facebook page, and that's great. Can we see a tail? Yes, we can. Sadie, you had to turn the other way to say hi to the camera. But, and again, I understand real life, certain things take a while to update, but when people are going to be going to your webpage, and honestly, why, thank you. If people are going to be going to your webpage because they're going to do a web search, right? We're going to do I'm not going to do a Google search right now. DuckDuckGo. Um, if people are going to do a search and find your company, generally speaking, if you have a website, they're going to go to the website, and that's where they're going to get what they think is the most updated information. And so many companies don't update their page. People that I know, people that I respect, uh, they don't do it. Everybody thinks Facebook. Facebook gets you a certain number of eyes on, but your web page is your house. Okay. And I really think that if you're going to update stuff on Facebook, it should be immediately reflected at your homepage. That's just me. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I'm sure somebody will tell me below. Folks, I'm still suffering from the evil Omicron. Dun, dun, dun. So, my little muddied, a little foggy, yes. My little snotty, of course. Yeah, could be worse. We are in the midst of the world of COVID. I am not telling you to get vaxxed. I'm not saying don't get vaxxed. I'm not saying wear a mask. I'm not saying don't wear a mask. And I know there are people like, but Tenkar, you're vaxxed and you came down with Omicron, but you're not really suffering too much. Isn't that mean that you should be telling everybody to get vaxxed? Listen, your circumstances are different than my circumstances. Talk to a medical professional that you trust, that knows your history, and be guided by that. And I'm having a huge discussion with my sister about family members getting vaxxed. And it all depends on people's personal medical history. So don't just think, oh, Tenkar is going to be telling everybody to get vaxxed now because look at him, he looks pretty good for somebody with the COVID. Or, well, look, Tenkar got the COVID and he's been vaxxed and boosted. It tells you that it doesn't work. Listen, this is all personal decision stuff. I will tell you that I'm against any kind of vax mandate. And other than that, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice. I should be back tomorrow with Bad Mike. I don't know if you have a special guest or not. Probably not. Well, both of us are still fighting the COVID. I mean, we wouldn't want to transmit it to somebody by having them as our special guest on a virtual connection. There's a joke there, folks. And that the joke there is the same joke that TSR 3.5 is the same company that published D&D in 1974. Get the joke, right? Get the joke. All right. Lemmings unite. Okay? Lemmings unite. All right, folks. On that note, I'm sure I pissed people off. I will catch you all later. Laters.